For 3 long days, the forests had been eerily silent, almost unnaturally so. No rustling leaves, no snapping twigs, not a single hoofprint on the moist ground, only a thick, unsettling quiet settling over every ridge and shadow. Silence, in a forest like this, is never a good sign. It means something is watching, something waiting. But today, at last, the first light pierced the fog-heavy canopy, and from long experience, we knew exactly what that meant. This is when the wild boars begin to move. Their instincts are tied to the shifting light, to the slight change in temperature. Their sharpened senses pick up even the subtlest transitions in the environment. 3 days of utter silence meant they were conserving energy. Today meant motion, opportunity, and danger. We quickly adjusted strategy, rechecked positions, re-established our communication lines. Every team member took one final breath before walking into the unknown. This was our last chance to intercept the herd before they descended on the farmlands once again. And with the damage they had done in the past weeks, failure wasn't an option. We moved quietly, armed with specialized rifles, thermal scopes, and enough experience to keep our emotions locked behind calm, practiced breathing. Everyone knew their place. Everyone knew their role. This operation was more than a hunt. It was a coordinated defense against creatures that could and had destroyed entire fields in a single night. Moments later, through the thin veil of morning mist, the shadows appeared. The wild boars, massive, muscular, and alert, finally broke their silence. The first shot cracked across the forest. It was clean, deliberate, and deadly, dropping the lead boar instantly. The others scattered, but the rest of our team was already in position. Signals flew through the comms. Hands steadied, eyes sharpened. One by one, every escape route was cut off with flawless timing. This encounter was more than just a test of skill. It was proof of how deeply synchronized the team had become. When the pressure rose, they didn't break. They merged, like different parts of a single body functioning with perfect precision. But the morning was only the beginning. We moved to higher ground, hoping to catch a wider view of the foothills. From above, the landscape spread out before us like a rugged battlefield, waiting for the next clash. Then we saw them, dark figures weaving swiftly between the trees. Their speed was astonishing. Even with a clear vantage point, the boars moved like smoke slipping through fingers. A shot was fired, but the distance and the beast's agility turned it into a near miss. Regret stung for only a second, then focus took over again. In this line of work, hesitation is a luxury no one can afford. Sensing the rising tension, Nick stepped up. His experience was unmatched. A hunter who read the forest like a story written in footprints and broken twigs. He sent a lookout higher up the ridge, turning them into a living drone, feeding real-time visuals to the team below. It worked. Each boar that appeared was quickly surrounded and neutralized. No chaos, no panic, just relentless pressure and disciplined execution. For the first time in days, the forest felt like it belonged to us again. But peace in the wild never lasts long. Just as we regrouped, distant detonations echoed across the valley. The explosions weren't meant to kill, only to drive the boars out into the open. Startled, they bolted downhill, desperate to escape into the thick brambles. Kevin's team sprinted forward, a sign to contain the newly stirred threats. Hours passed in intense pursuit, sweat mixed with soil. Hearts pounded with every step. One by one, the targets fell, restoring a fragile calm to the hillside. Then came the dogs. If the hunters are the mind of this operation, the hounds are its instinct. Trained for years, they never faltered. Their noses cut through the layers of foliage, their bark slicing the silence like warnings from ancient guardians of the forest. Guided by them, I locked onto a target. The boar attempted one last desperate charge, but the window was too narrow, too predictable. My shot landed cleanly, a final punctuation mark at the end of the dangerous sentence. Meanwhile, on the eastern ridge, Nick faced a chase more intense than any before. The wild boars were faster, stronger, and smarter, survivors of countless attempts to trap them. But Nick's patience was ironclad. After minutes that felt like hours, he intercepted the herd exactly where he predicted they'd run. His volley of shots ended the chase in seconds. As dusk fell, streaks of orange light painted the treetops. This is the most dangerous time of day, when shadows lengthen and visibility collapses. And just before complete darkness swallowed the forest, the last of the boars revealed themselves. With almost no time to spare, the team acted. Every movement was decisive. Every shot was clean. And finally, it was over. The farmers could breathe again. But this wasn't the end of our work. Not even close. The Tuscan wilderness, the second battlefront. The dense forests of Tuscany are breathtaking. Rolling hills, deep valleys, and endless green stretching as far as the eye can see. But beauty is deceptive. Beneath the leaves lies one of Europe's most difficult wildlife challenges. Wild boars here aren't just aggressive. They're intelligent. They know how to vanish into foliage. So, thickets swallows even sunlight. Hunting them isn't simply sport. It's a test of patience, strength, strategy, and survival. That's why we returned to Tuscany. Not for a hunt, but for a conquest. Arriving at dawn, we moved like shadows. The forest greeted us with cold mist and faint echoes of unseen movement. Every footstep was measured, every breath controlled. We set up positions across key ridgelines. And then the scent hit us. A pungent smell of musk and damp earth, a clear sign of a nearby boar. Before the mind could fully understand, the instincts took over. Shots rang out, echoing through the trees. A massive figure emerged in the brush, charging with unstoppable force. The first hit slowed it. The second brought it down. A perfect start, and a warning of what awaited deeper inside. We pushed forward, dogs leading the way. Their relentless barking signaled another encounter. The boar tried to flee, but had nowhere left to run. Jay stepped forward. One clean shot ended the chase instantly. The deeper we moved, the more we realized how cunning these creatures were. They studied their surroundings. They used shadows as shields. They blended into terrain that even veterans struggled to read. So we changed tactics. The team split again across several zones. Each position became a lens focusing on the smallest movement. Soon enough, a familiar shadow emerged and collapsed seconds later under a precise shot. More shots erupted in the distance. Jay again. His aim was unwavering today. Every strategy we deployed worked with surgical precision. And when the boars panicked and rushed south, Nick was ready. One moment of opportunity. One flawless shot. Another threat eliminated. For hours we scanned every corner. We moved silently, rifles raised, breathing steady. When a target appeared in my crosshairs, the world narrowed to a single moment. The rifle cracked. The boar fell. This is the essence of the hunt. The blend of instinct, experience, and the disciplined calm that only years of training create. In the final hour, sweat mixed with satisfaction. We had reclaimed the forest. And with that victory, the land would sleep peacefully, at least for a while. The United States, the war on farmland. Across America, a silent war burns hotter each year. Wild boars destroy crops, tear up soil, and cause millions in agricultural losses. Farmers fight not droughts, not storms, but the sharp tusks of beasts multiplying faster than nature can balance. Enter Alex, a leader forged through years of tracking these animals. His team split instantly upon arrival. Hounds ran ahead, their barking echoing through valleys. The chase began in seconds. On a hillside, Alex spotted his target, a brute charging at impossible speed. He fired multiple times, adjusting for angle and wind. One final shot ended the conflict, but the day was far from over. Another herd tore through distant crops. Alex's binoculars glinted in the sun as he tracked them. He fired but missed the fatal point. The herd panicked, sprinting in all directions. Jack, positioned along the escape route, steadied his breath. A boar burst out of brush like a living missile. His first shot missed. His second didn't. Precision requires patience, and Jack had both. Hours later, Jack stood atop a ridge surveying the fields. Two boars sprinted into sight. In 3 seconds, both were lying still. That moment carved itself into memory, a testament to discipline under pressure. Meanwhile, another marksman eliminated a long-range target with a shot. So clean it looked effortless. But only those who've hunted know the truth. Nothing about this work is easy. As the team packed up to return home, one last rustle caught Jack's ear. Kneeling, he prepared for the final shot of the day. In a single breath, he ended the boar's rampage and sealed the team's success. Australia, night hunt on the Great Fields. Nightfall brings danger in Australia. Wild boars emerge from thick scrublands and tear through fields like metal plows. Jay's team positioned themselves across the field, guided only by moonlight and instinct. A lone boar wandered into view. Jack loaded his rifle and fired. One clean hit. The hunt had officially begun. Infrared scopes pinpointed another intruder. The shot was swift, dead center. As gunshots echoed across the open plains, the destruction slowly quieted. Peace returned, at least a night. Another marksman, John, performed a flawless close-range kill through thick undergrowth, proving once again how lethal precision can be in total darkness. Soon after, another team detected a herd. Kevin stepped forward. 2 shots, 2 kills. Land reclaimed. In the wild, seconds decide victory. They decided ours. Turkey, the Golden Fields Campaign. Turkish farmlands have long suffered from relentless boar attacks. Thomas's team arrived armed with technology, experience, and deep determination. Every crushed leaf and every bent blade of grass told a story, a trail of destruction left behind by the marauders. Early in the morning, Thomas eliminated the first target with 1 clean shot, and the team pushed deeper. A rustle, a burst, a single bullet, another victory. Minutes later, the dogs alerted him to a hidden beast. With steady aim, Thomas ended the threat instantly. But the biggest challenge came from a herd charging up a hillside. The team reacted like seasoned warriors. Gunfire erupted. Within seconds, the slope was silent again. Another boar fell to Thomas's steady hands shortly after. And down the rugged hillside, Leon made a kill so swift it froze time for everyone who witnessed it. Finally, after days of pursuit, Turkey's fields were safe again. Final words. This journey wasn't just a hunt. It was a battle for survival. Not ours, but the farmers, families, and communities whose lives depend on these lands. Wild boars multiply rapidly, adapt quickly, and destroy without hesitation. Without these teams, without discipline, strategy, and courage, entire regions would fall victim to their rampage. Today, the forest rests. The fields breathe. The villages sleep peacefully. But the war is far from over. Wherever these creatures rise, hunters like us will rise with them.